to a political talk show here on WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Greene, and it is my favorite day of the week because I get to bring all of my friends on, well, at least as many friends as I can fit on as many microphones as I have. And so we've got a full house here for Free Speech Friday. Of course, we've got Dr. R right here sitting with us. I will practice during the break, Doctor, to figure it out. I'll get it. I know I will. But Dr. Robert is from thebarrio.com. Read all of his books that are available there and some surprisingly other places, and we'll get into some other things about that. Cecilia Brooks is sitting here with us as well. We've also got James Vasselli of Vasselli Law, JMV Chicago. Law is the way to go. And we've also got David T's regular over there. He's got his seat too, claims it over there.
Yeah, this is like, I'm like Sheldon. This is my seat.
That's it. So we've got a little bit of a debate, just a little bit of an icebreaker, something before we get too heavy into it. This is the question that we've got. It actually came from one of my students, and we'll talk about it like we normally do in any other debate, because this is, of course, a very serious show. They brought up a question that is a fried egg fried chicken? That was the question. And that was the look and silence that I also had when I was thinking about it. Is an egg fried chicken?
No.
Just no? We got our first answer on this one? Go ahead, elaborate a little bit more.
It's not, because if it had the potential to become fried chicken, but unfortunately it was fried egg instead because it was never chicken. It could have been, but we don't live in a world of what ifs.
Hey, life begins at conception, right? That's the way I look at it. So I didn't think it's a fried chicken.
It's a fried chicken? Yeah. Oh, we got one for one over here.
Charlie Kirk.
Anybody else? The ones that have degrees?
I will use my degree and I'll take the Fifth Amendment. I'll exercise my right to take the Fifth Amendment. Yeah.
Okay. Fried eggs are ambiguous. I get that.
Well,
Dr. Robert?
It's the chicken or the egg, right? But I'll take the fifth on that.
Okay. But some two smart men over here deciding not to jump into it. But, okay, I've got one more that came in from a student as well. This is the debate that they put in. And it was if teleportation technology existed and you had one place that you could teleport to directly from your living room, where would that be?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sorry. Are we at this static time, or can you go back in time, or?
Ooh, good question.
This is static space-time, so you would instantly jump. So this would be Star Trek rules. We'll go that way.
Understood. Thanks.
Valid.
Anybody with it? You show up with the light, too. With all the sound of everything.
Well, actually, if I were to go someplace from my living room, right to Vegas.
Right to Vegas,
Yep.
back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth. Why not? Catch some shows, have some food, hit some buffets. Yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah, I mean, the travel a lot of times is the transportation when you go. Because, I mean, locals still have to eat sandwiches over there, too. Why would they make them extra expensive?
I'm going. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. I am going to the gym.
The gym?
If I'm teleporting anywhere, my drive, if that could be minimized, that'd be great.
Straight
and
to
then
the gym.
zero
How long is
excuses.
that drive anyway? Get out of here.
It's like 30 to 35 minutes with traffic.
There's not a closer gym?
There's not a closer midtown. Although, if I could teleport, I would never be late. What a world that would be.
Well, you only get one spot.
Oh,
You only get one
then
spot,
the gym.
I guess, to not
then
be
the
late.
Gym. Okay, then the gym, which I can never be late to anyway. So.
She goes to the gym and then Costco after she leaves.
It's true. It's
yeah, she
true.
does.
Because I only get gas at Schaumburg Costco.
There you go. Make the trip worth it. 30 minutes. My
Right?
goodness.
I will go visit my sister in Florida.
Okay.
She is wonderful. I barely see my nephew, Jack. And I really don't like flying, which is probably a longer conversation with other people. But yeah, I will teleport to Florida. It's a little bit warmer. And I'd love that. Vegas is a great second choice, though. Me and DT would hang out there. We'd have fun. But Florida for my sister.
Doctor?
If I could go back in time,
Okay.
I'd like to go back and let my father know that he wasn't alone and that he was loved and that there was no reason for him to be looking for love in all the wrong places and die on Skid Row. And I've been there since, and there's a lot of people who walk around lost in a culture of darkness. So I'd like to go back in time and help save these people, let them know they're not alone, and they too can make a way out of no way.
Absolutely. Save as many lives as we can, right?
Amen.
Thanks, everybody, for letting us know what your thoughts were. You can always leave them down in the comments on YouTube as well. Go to youtube.com. Find us at WRMN Radio. When we come back, we're going to talk about Dr. Robert's books right from the Barrio. Go to fromthebarrio.com. The Barrio to the Boardroom is the place to read. Stick around. We've got more Apolitical Talk Show from WRMN coming up after this. Welcome back to Apolitical Talk Show here on WRMN. You guessed what I was going to say next. WRMN 1410. The AM dial is where you can get it. We've got 4 numbers. We don't need those dot whatevers out there. 1410 AM dial, super simple. Been broadcasting there since 1949. That is, by my math, my on-the-air math, 76 years. Right here in the downtown area in Elgin, the longest-running station here in the area. Just, gotta flex a little bit here for WRMN. I've got a few great friends here for Free Speech Friday. Let's introduce them again. We've got Dr. Robert Renteria. Dr. Robert Renteria transformed a challenging youth in East Los Angeles marked by gang involvement and personal loss into a successful business executive, author, and civic leader. He is now running to be lieutenant governor with Sheriff James Mendrick, and is running in the primary. But you need to read some of his books, so head on over to From the Barrio, BARRIO, for those English speakers.com is the best place to go. We've got Cecilia Brooks, always here for the Kane County GOP and a few other places. You're running for something as well, madam?
I am running for precinct committeeman in EL 17 of Elgin Township.
Well, good luck to both of you.
Thank you very much.
We've also got David Tees sitting over here. He has probably gotten, I gotta say, hundreds of thousands of signatures.
Yeah, not
easily.
that much, but yeah, you're overshooting me on that
You're
one.
close. You're real close. I know it is.
He's a modest man.
Absolutely. I know you've got at least hundreds of thousands of steps getting signatures.
Yes, that I do have. There's a lot of work.
For sure.
And Doc knows that. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
And then we've got Jimmy Vasselli from jmvchicagolaw.com and Vasselli Law sticking here with us as well. You don't have as many steps since you're down here in downtown with us to just come into the studio.
Much easier, and I like it that way.
Fantastic. So we're going to get a little schoolhouse rock today because we've got the full panel in here. And when we come back, we will talk with Dr. Robert in his books. And so what I want to talk about is we've got 2 important bills that I guess is important to the mainstream media and everything else. We all know here at this table that kitchen table politics are the ones that really matter. Inflation or cost of goods or job numbers, which I don't know why we haven't seen those. We'll figure those out later. But what I want to talk about is the process that we've got. We've had over and over again Congresses that will not do anything, whether it is, well, we're not going to put a vote to it, or the filibuster stops it, or so we get a lot of executive orders, we got a lot of emergency things, and even then we get shutdowns or at least threats of shutdowns almost every 4 months, I think on average is happening right now. So I want to talk about the two biggest issues that are going through our Congress right now. The healthcare subsidies that has only been promised a vote in the Senate, nothing else, just a vote in the Senate. So good job, art of the deal, I suppose. Then we've also got the Epstein file release as well. So I want to talk about the likelihood of either one of those walking through this Congress and even getting to the veto process. So, Cecilia, I think we'll start with you first. What do you pick either one of them? What do you think the likelihood is of it even passing whatever house it lives in? So I think right now the Epstein side lives in the House and the healthcare lives in the Senate. So what's the likelihood of either one of those getting out of their bicameral? I think I'm gonna start flexing words if I can, but bicameral Congress that we have here.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start Epstein Files,
Okay.
and I would love personally to see the Epstein Files get through. I want to say the House. No,
It's
the House first.
Mhm.
Yes, get through the House first, and then with the bicameral legislation, because I think that is of the utmost importance to the American people. The American people want transparency, and they want it now. I do think that we might see the potential of political games being played prior to that getting passage through both the House and the Senate. But hopes is that it will, with mounting pressure from the outside, the public body, and different NGOs, that they will get through the first step.
We're looking at the Senate that has to kind of kick the can for the healthcare side to a committee first. That's where it's sitting at. I think the House is bringing the Epstein stuff directly to the floor, and then it'll move wherever it needs to. But Senate right now, it's got to at least go through that committee, and then the committee has to bring it in. They've promised a December vote, Mr. Vasselli. Do you think they'll make that December vote?
No, I do not think that they will. I think that it will be delayed. I mean, government has shown itself to be a delaying force at this point in time. I have no faith or confidence that it will be. I could be wrong. I think these things need to come to a head. I think they're better when they come to a head. I think a no is always better than a long maybe. Either no or yes is better than a long maybe. But I do not think so.
Dr. Renteria, one of the things that we see in Congress is that we don't see a lot of votes. We see a lot of big things that just kind of meander through our Congress. Do you think it is better for us to do more single issue votes or continue to do this amoebus type of large, big, beautiful bills, if you will?
Well, I think we need to have the confidence of the people first. We don't believe anymore. There's so much distrust, and people are lying. I've learned that in the last couple of months of running for lieutenant governor, that people are lie across the table. So I think we have to build the trust first and inspire them that we are going to be champions of change, so that they will want to vote. So right now, people are just sitting on the sidelines watching the game. They're not engaging.
Do you build that trust by them working a little bit more and passing more things, or do you build that trust by kicking out bad apples?
Well, I think that going back when Donald Trump ran for office and he says we have to drain the swamp, and that built a lot of confidence. And then when he took a piercing bullet during the election, instead of getting carried out on a stretcher, he stood up and said, "Let's fight." So he inspired, in my world, over 20 million voters, Hispanics, to vote for him. And I was asked, why didn't it trickle down here locally? It's because nobody knows who you are. So to my point earlier, we have to be involved with the community to build their confidence so that they will vote.
I think it's the marketing aspect of it too. We never know the good things that anybody does for us either. I think that was part of Biden's issue as well. I don't think there was any kind of marketing of anything good. Trump is the exact epitome of that too. Nobody talks about anything good that he does. Now, I'm one of those people that think that he's the firefighter arsonist. I think he likes to create something, fix it, and then, hooray, I put the fire out. Well, you're the guy with the matches in your pocket sometimes. So But I think at the end of the day, it overshadows anything that would even be good for anything. Let's go to you, Dave, for this one as well. Do you think that if they did get through their respected houses, what is the likelihood that the other house agrees with them?
Well, they're both each taking a topic. So
yes.
The Senate's got the healthcare, and Congress has the Epstein file. And like everybody has said here with the Epstein files, it's going to be delayed. They're going to want to see how the people react. They want to hear what the voices are saying, like the doc says. And then they'll probably start doing their decisions. And that's why it's going to probably be delayed, because we want to know what the American public wants to know, but they're still not going to care. So that's just going to take a long time. And with the Senate doing what they are, I think that's probably going to get passed faster and come up with a resolution. I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of work to do with that healthcare bill, more than what we can ever imagine. So I'll agree with Jimmy. It's not going to pass this year. I think it will be a January decision after Christmas. We all relax and have a little bit of Christmas and family time.
And Jimmy, they have the 1-year extension already prepared. Why don't they just push that through?
Well, welcome to government, right? I mean, that's what we do. We make extensions and then we extend the extensions. And I just think that I don't have a lot of faith in it. And that's sad. I really liked Schoolhouse Rock growing up, and it was fun when it was just a bill, but now it's a bill and it's going to be very long, and it's going to be William by the time it's done. It's just, it's going to take a lot more time.
Let's just walk through the healthcare side of it, right? The Democrats shut down the government. I'll call it Schumer shutdown all day, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what ended up happening with it. What did they get? Somebody could tell me what they actually got for anything good? Okay. Terrible, terrible stuff. But they've got to get through this. All they've got out of it is the promise for the vote. That's it. The vote in the Senate. So miraculously, maybe it passes the Senate. It gets past the 60 votes. It's got to go through filibuster. French is not my specialty. I believe it's couture or something along those lines, where they have to end the debate. But they get through that. It goes over to the House. The House then has to even bring it to the floor. Mike Johnson is going to bring a Democrat bill that passed in the Senate over to a Republican-controlled House. Okay, let's say he does. Let's say he's like, you know what? Let's just take the vote. Even though it's going to make everybody on my side look terrible for voting against it, let's just bring it to the floor. It passes. Now it gets to the president. The president, who has already said, I'm not going to sign this thing because, first off, it was under duress or whatever other side that he wants to do. Is this another pie in the sky Democrat dream that on paper seems legitimate, but at the end of the day, it won't end up happening? Cecilia, you got anything on that?
I do. I think that, unfortunately, the Democrats, while they are good at branding in some areas, and I do see a lot of their overpromising and underfulfilling, which is lately that's been a track record for them. And I can see that they've given a lot of their base a false sense of hope. But now, as you mentioned, with the Schumer shutdown, they really, all of those months and all of those weeks that went by, and really what do they have to show for it? Unfortunately, nothing, a promise of a potential promise.
David, this is it. The only way to punish liars in politics is to vote them out. Mm-hmm. Why don't we vote these people out? Why do they keep winning all the time?
Strategy, being that good.
Name recognition.
Name recognition. Lying.
They're so good at lying that they just can't leave.
I'm going to be a better person. Trust me. I'm in a dark place, but I'm going to be a better person next time for the voters. And they go right back to where they're at again. So that's what it is. And sometimes we believe them.
Dr. Renteria, what about term limits? Is that the solution? Is that the silver bullet?
I think that's one of the solutions. Mm-hmm. And to your point about the healthcare thing, I think that nobody's talking about the elephant in the room, that America is a business. So they're, in my opinion, being a business guy, is look at how we're going to carve up the pie before we make decisions.
Fair enough.
Because you're dealing with Big Pharma, and you're going to tell me that Big Pharma has a pill for every ailment but can't find a cure. So let's talk about that a little bit. And this is the corruption is big and it's widespread. So back to the Epstein piece. I mean, there's a lot of good people who go down, and it's about money and power and greed. So America is a business at the end of the day, and if we fix something, people lose jobs. So let's put Band-Aids on bullet wounds and call it a good day. So my hope is that I can bring common sense back to the state of Illinois and follow the example of Donald Trump and saying, listen, no more men and women's sports, and bring common sense to the table.
Absolutely. We got to make sure that we bring common sense to the table for a lot of different issues, whether it is inflation or any of the other social issues that we've got for things. I think a lot of what people are talking about, at least as far as the Epstein or anything else goes, is transparency. We've had so many different times transparency to get something together, and is that just something that's just riddled in government in general? I mean, to take it back to our resident lawyer here, for Freedom of Information Act, wasn't that supposed to be the open glass house that the government was supposed to operate in, or did they start boarding up windows?
It is in an ideal world, the Freedom of Information Act and the Open Meetings Act in the state of Illinois, for example, and its federal counterparts and other state counterparts, is supposed to be, sunshine is the greatest disinfectant. Mm-hmm. It is supposed to be one of those vehicles that we get to transparency. But not only does that get strategized, where people send out Freedom of Information Acts to tax and burden government, but it also becomes something where bots get involved, and recent legislation would stop or hinder the use of that. And so it becomes all political strategy at one point in time. So while transparency is what we strive for, and transparency is the ideal, there are so many steps between what goes on behind closed doors and what we do day to day, and most importantly, what affects the people around the kitchen table, that we really need to find a better way.
I think so. It's not necessarily about transparency if you're not doing the right thing anyway. Like, I could be out in the open doing bad things all the time, but if you're not stopping me from doing those things, then what good is knowing about them, right?
Illinois failed. They had the opportunity, and I'm sorry if
Go ahead.
But Illinois failed when they changed the laws with regards to public disclosure. Everyone up here, other than me, has filed a statement of economic interest. And they really pry into what your assets are, what your holdings are, and everything like that. And so you have people who are on library boards, on school boards, being like, I'm not going to give up my pension number because of that. And let's just use that as an example that's not necessarily on all fours, but give out this information because the one apartment building they have, that all the retirement savings in there, and they will not serve because of that disclosure. In lieu of taking more transparent steps, more open steps to stop corruption, they're like, hey, school board member who wants to volunteer your time, fill out this one form that nobody's going to check up on and go there. You have to have a will to make change. And there is no will to make change at this point in time because it's a business, and the business will be hurt if you make the change. That's my 2 cents.
Dr. Robert, you're nodding on that one.
100%. That's what I was saying. America's a business, right? So let's not fix the problem. People are making money. Let's call it the end of the day. I've seen politicians who go into office, and we'll use one who was a bartender who go nameless, who years later now has multi-millions of dollars in a bank account. You're going to tell me that that's transparency? It's not transparency.
Well, he's right, because I think with the Senate bill with the health care is going to be nothing but lobbyists and Big Pharma and everybody dumping money into these guys' pockets to get what they want. And I think they're going to drag it out long until they, make the well dry.
Cecilia, at what point is it not profitable to lobby? Like, at the end of the day, it is a business, right? And with this transparency, whether it is from the government or it's from some third party or some hacker that just wants to leak out information, eventually we're going to know how much money people are spending to kind of sway bills or anything else that's in there. At what point is the Rubicon of like, well, what if instead of fighting for minimum wage being raised, why don't we just pay our employees this $10 billion we were going to use for lobbying? Like, where's the switch on this?
Right. I think that it occurs actually, I think we're getting there. I think this all happens and this switch happens when the complete and total mistrust of I guess, lobbying, lobbyists and lobbying as an entirety. I think as soon as the American public understands and has that transparency, whether it's how much of it is going on or how many dollars are being spent in certain industries within the government, when the public finally understands, because I do think we're getting to that point where you're saying, okay, well, how much do I really believe in XYZ, whether it's a senator or whomever elected official it is? How much do we really believe in this person? Because I know that this elected official is not serving me, they're serving this big corporation that has poured millions of dollars into their reelection campaign fund. And the more people are realizing that, which we're getting to, the less they're going to trust and have faith, like Mr. Vasselli has said, in the government itself.
Does that start with elected leaders changing? People like the good doctor coming in and running, already building a great business, already having a great background, adding that into it, not a career politician, but a career citizen. Is this the change?
Well, I think accountability is key. We have to hold people accountable. I mean, the educational system, as an example, is flawed. 96 to 100% of the schools are graduating their kids with the 6th, 7th, 8th grade reading and mathematical proficiency. So we need to hold the schools to a higher standard. And if they don't meet those standards, then people are going to lose their jobs and they're not going to get their funding, because we're putting kids out unprepared into the world who are going to fail.
45% proficiency rate in our school districts throughout the state of Illinois.
Well, and to not just get it a larger subject off of this, because, I mean, we can talk about Leave No Child Behind and the precedent that set for everything. But is, at the end of the day, all of these issues, is it all about the incumbency? Is it all about draining the swamp, like you said, Doctor?
I think a big part of it is. And I think the accountability piece, and in teaching the politicians a word that I learned when I was in the military called character. Teaching them that character is not just doing what's right when somebody's watching you, but doing the right thing when nobody's watching you.
Absolutely. Integrity all day is what we need to bring it back. And I think bringing people in that aren't beholden to a corporation or aren't beholden to a lobby or aren't at a position where I'm running because I am a mogul of this other side. You don't necessarily have to lobby from a lobbyist. You could be the lobbyist for things. So I think that's a lot of what's happening is we've turned it into a business. We've turned it into a career politician. Used to be a bad name, and now it is, would you like a career in politics? Is the starting point now. So it's always a pleasure with talking with the Free Speech Friday panel over here. We've got two gentlemen that are going to be leaving us. That would be Mr. David Tease. He is a local leader here for the Kane County GOP, and also that signature gopher all around the area. And then also we've got James Vasselli sitting here with us as well. JMV Chicago Law is the best place to go. And then you have a couple of blogs that are sitting out there too. Could you drop those real quick?
Sure, it is. The biggest one is on our website. It is JMV Chicago Law, and it has the news. Please follow it. We try to keep people up to date on changes in Illinois law and general changes in policy issues.
Dr. Robert Renteria, who is running for Lieutenant Governor with Sheriff James Mendrick, is going to be sticking around with us, along with Cecilia Brooks, also part of the Kane County GOP, who is running for precinct committee person. We've got two people that just got their signatures in last week, so let's talk to them.
Yeah.
Hello, America, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 on that AM dial that we love so very much. And, of course, WRMN1410.com, where you can head on over to the digital airwaves and sit down with us right here on the WRMN Studio 14. Thanks for being here. I love it when I see everybody hop in on YouTube as well. That's youtube.com. You can find us at WRMN Radio. And why I love it so very much is because it is one of my favorite days of the week. I hope it's one of yours too. It is, of course, the apolitical talk show Free Speech Friday. And we have a full house, so much that I had to pull in extra microphones over here. So we've got plenty to talk about. And of course, we'll make sure we get a game in as well. We don't want to leave you guys out just feeling the gloom and doom of the news. We got to get some hope and some other things that are going on. So if you're politically minded, if you like to be calling yourself a wonk, and know and understand that word right there, let's get a little wonky together. Today, let's introduce our Free Speech Friday panel. That, of course, is Dr. Robert Renteria. See, I practiced before I went. But Dr. Renteria transformed a challenging youth in East Los Angeles, marked by gang involvement and personal loss, into a successful business executive, author, and civic leader. After serving in the U.S. Army, happy Veterans Day to you as well, sir, he became a corporate VP and later founded the From the Barrio Foundation, publishing his memoir, From the Barrio to the Boardroom, and accompanying curricula to empower at-risk youth through education and self-esteem. His work spans lecturing in schools, churches, and international programs. You can find him at fromthebarrio.com. And a recent quote from him, which I pulled from that same place: "Don't let where you came from dictate who you are, but let it be a part of who you become." Also sitting on with us today is James M. Vasselli, an attorney and founding partner of Vasselli Law in Illinois, with more than 2 decades of experience in municipal law, land use, real estate, construction, and tax law. He acts as counsel to local governments, businesses, and individuals, blending legal expertise with community engagement and strategic advice. Find him at JMV Chicago. We've also got returning guests, and I would like to call them champions of the apolitical talk show games. We've got Cecilia Brooks. Cecilia Ivana Brooks is a young conservative activist based in Elgin and Kane County, Illinois. At 24, she sought Elgin City Council seat and is even running for precinct committee person. Is that what it is there? Sure is. Find her at Cecilia Brooks on Instagram and all over Facebook. And we've got him here. You hear his voice here on Apolitical Talk Show often. And he's also got a show on the weekends. That's Fantasy Football Blitz. We've got David WT's. I'll let you guess what that is. A Republican political operative is what we've got written down here, and a candidate within Kane County, Illinois. Documented in filing, I'm sure, thousands upon thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of signatures throughout his life. Free Speech Friday panel, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having us here today.
Good to be back.
I'm going to have to turn you up, Cecilia, just so we can make sure you're there. There you are. That's your microphone.
Hello, everyone. Good to be back. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Dr. Robert, let's start with you first, just for some introductory side of it. Talk about your journey, because that's essentially your memoir, right? Is from the barrio to the boardroom. That's a journey right there. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it.
No, that's absolutely fine. I come from the barrio of East Los Angeles. I was born into poverty. My father was a heroin addict and alcoholic. He abandoned our family. He was only 3 years old and left my mother and I, my little sister, with a pile of pills and a bunch of empty bottles of booze in the trash can.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My mother working 2 or 3 jobs to make sure we did not become part of a system. At the age of 6, I was in a terrible accident. I almost died. I had to go to school for the physically disabled and mentally challenged because I could not walk, talk, or read or write. My mother remarries when I'm 9, and the nightmare starts all over again. She marries an abusive drunk, and he's beat up on my mother and beat up on me, and we could talk about that later. I got old enough, I ran away, and I found a new dysfunctional family called gangs. So I started running and gunning, stealing and dealing. My real father dies when I'm 19 on a halfway house on Skid Row. It's where the homeless people live. He died a heroin addict and alcoholic. Wow. I later on went out to make better choices. I went back to school, joined the military, honorably served our country for over 7 years as a non-commissioned officer and U.S. Army paratrooper. I came to Chicagoland in 1990 with $200 in a duffel bag. 6 years later, I was vice president of a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. I then later opened up my own business, and then God had another plan for me. I became an author, more of a messenger now, and my life did a 180. Fast forward 2 decades later, we're in over 25 countries around the world.
Wow.
And so now I'm putting my head into the political ring because you can't be part of the solution unless you're part of the process. Mm-hmm. So I want to change the narrative for not only our children for public safety and education, but for the entire state of Illinois.
How has your experiences from seeing it on the outside and the inside kind of helped you communicate politically and even through your book?
Well, what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, having been more actively involved just the last couple of years of getting to know people like David and others and Cecilia, is that I'm seeing that there's people lying on both sides. Mm-hmm. So politics for me is more like dirty diapers. And I'm not saying there's not good people in politics, but they both need a lot of work on both sides. So if I could help put this as more maybe one nation under God and bring people together, because I know we have good people on both sides. They're not all bad. The Republicans aren't evil and the Democrats are not all evil, but we have to sit there and break bread, right? And have these conversations to build bridges. So if we can break bread, then we can go red. So that's my goal, to help to teach the party that we have to be both missional and relational for us to win elections.
I absolutely understand that. Welcome to the show. Really appreciate you being here. And let's expand that a little bit, panel, about that. That seems to be a running theme for most people, is incumbency first, because we hear a lot about putting together term limits or kind of forcibly moving people out. And then we also hear more about we're not all radical. Right? Is this more of a internet type of thing, or are we seeing the internet kind of emulate real life, or the other way around? I will go with our youngest, I suppose, because she's the only one that's only understood the internet from that side. So how do you see the way that we discuss things, real life versus on the internet side of it? Is it the internet forces us to change real life, or is real life affecting the way that we talk the other direction? We'll go Cecilia on that.
Yeah, so I would say that the way that people converse in real life versus online, especially when it's pertaining to the political atmosphere, I think people are emboldened, unfortunately, more so online than they would in person. So that violent rhetoric I have seen be a lot more prevalent online and in those social media bases rather than things that people wouldn't say in person. And I think that's got to change.
Jimmy, is that people letting off steam, or is this one of those things of this is how they really feel? Or is it just kind of a mix between that?
I think it's a mix between the two. I think that there is some invisible man syndrome where you're hiding behind a keyboard and you can get a little bit emboldened. I think that there is some cathartic letting off steam, but I also think that the internet has become a hot, rather than an expansion, and I'm sure I'd love to hear the doctor's take on this at some point, but you have to go outside of your minor circle and go and get more ideas from more people rather than have an echo chamber. Mm-hmm. But when you only follow the same 3 people and you only listen to the same people who tell you all your ideas are good, it becomes a lot easier just to point fingers and yell at the other side. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how else to say this, but wave your fist in rage at God, right? Mm-hmm. And so, no, I think it is some letting off steam. I think it is kind of the invisibility behind a keyboard. And I think it's the echo chamber that just kind of ramps people up when they want to lay off more steam and everything like that.
David, we never talk about like who is letting off steam or who is making all of these. The only thing we divide everybody from is left or right, but we still see the animosity from everything. We're not talking about class. We're not talking about work structure. We're not even talking about ideologies necessarily. A lot of times it's just everybody's mad about stuff. Why isn't that the unification that we have? Is our anger directed at a different direction? Do we keep forgetting who we're supposed to be angry at? So the easiest target is the other side. What's the, I would imagine that everybody being angry and everybody having the same feeling of the establishment, that would be more unifying than it is divisive.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like with the internet, it's like our mom and dad now. Mom would tell you, hey, if you get done eating, you got to wait 45 minutes to swim. And dad says, hey, just jump in the pool. I mean, it's like, that's what it is. We got a class of people that are trying to make people angry, and we got a class of people that are trying to make people not see the real issues. And like Jimmy said, people are hiding behind the internet. It's like the shadow guy in the background here, you know?
Yep.
And we have yet begun to watch the downfall of the internet when AI starts really manipulating it and taking over, because that's the scary part I'm seeing with the internet. Internet took us away from society, and I think AI is going to manipulate it even worse.
Dr. Renteria, you've been in so many different rooms of people, different conversations, people with different backgrounds, business, the streets, all different kinds of intelligence levels and different things like that. Are you starting to see similarities in communication as well, or similarities in kind of grumbling, or just similarities of these things need to be fixed? Is that what's kind of helping you drive into politics?
Well, no, the politics for me is about wanting to fix the problems that exist. So I'm more of a problem-solving solver. I was in the military for over 7 years, as mentioned. And the problem-solving process is, number one, recognize the problem, two, find a solution, three, take action. And that's how I built my program internationally, and that's what I want to do for the politics end of here in Illinois and across the United States. I think there's a lack of communication skills. People don't want to communicate. I mean, take it via your cell phone, right? You'll get people to text you, but they won't call you. You know, so they won't communicate with you. So, and the same thing with the kids, they're not communicating. When a parent tells me that their kid is upstairs, texting their mom downstairs, say, hey, I'm hungry, make me dinner. So instead of going down, just talking to their mother. So we have to meet face to face. I believe in having the dialogue. So you can't read somebody over a cell phone necessarily on a text or on an email, but you can read them if you're looking them in their eyes. So I'm a real big believer that we need to sit down and break bread.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we're doing today here on Apolitical Talk Show. It's Free Speech Friday. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Dr. Robert Rentiera. I'm sorry, Doc. I'm going to mess it up every single time. And we've got Cecilia Brooks. We've also got James Vasselli, Esquire, and David Tees. We'll be all back with you right after this.